Hi everyone, this is Deanna the Organized Miss, and if you were watching my previous video, then you saw that I created some signatures for my grief journal that I'm working on. So my first prompt was my safe place, and my safe place is my journaling. It's my art, it's here, sharing it, and so I'm back just to finish it up. I have these that I was going to use as the inside pages for my journal, but I didn't want to do that until I settled on binding them, and I decided to go ahead and bind them. First I was thinking, oh, I'll just not. And so I want to use some fabric that I got from one of the little downtown shops that I visited recently in a nearby town. And so they're just scraps. I got them for $1. And I just hadn't opened them yet, but this looks like cotton. This looks like it's got a little bit of a sheen on it. Maybe it's polyester, I can't tell. Maybe there's actually a couple kinds in there. What do I? Maybe this. This looks like it'll match what I'm doing. So I thought, how is this open? There. So I thought I would do a hidden spine. So I'm gonna attach these to the fabric and then glue the fabric in, then put the end pages on. And this is likely gonna be plenty. Oh yeah, that's plenty. Okay. Oh yeah, plenty. Okay. So let's see what we need here. We want it to at least be this long so that I want my pages to cover it in there. So put a little mark here. What do I think about, I mean, I guess I could go over here. It's just, okay, let's first cut this down, right? A little snip in it. There we go. And I want it so about here, I guess, right there at that corner. That's what that's called. And about here. I may decide to go ahead and rip it down a little more, but here we are. Yeah, still not straight. So that's okay. I wanna rip this too. All right. That's just gonna have to continue fraying as I use the journal. All right, that's about what I wanted. So I'm briefly thinking I could iron this, but you know what? I don't have an iron, so no, I can't. I think that's something I can go ahead and buy for myself, right? An iron. Okay, let's set this aside and find a template that we can use. Got some computer paper. We are going to make sure that it is the same height as our inserts, which, since these are not all the same height, good luck to us, right? But we're gonna do our best. Again, I'm an eyeballer. I don't always measure things exactly, but we're gonna do what we can here. Okay, so we've got it to be approximately the same height. And that is the best we're gonna do. Because this is gonna be hidden, I'm gonna be stitching them into the cloth, and then that will be glued here. You're not gonna see the stitches, so if they're a little off, it'll be okay. I'm not gonna beat myself up. But what I do want is, I got a bigger one. Right there. That sounds good. All right. In order to get my spacing, I'm going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I folded it in half. That's going to give me my center line. Fold in half this way, and that's going to give me my center. So let's just mark that so we can see that a little better. And then I want these to be equal. I want them to have the equal distance from the center line. So I'm just gonna fold them like that. And now these are gonna be my other holes. And we're gonna mark this with a T for top so that I make sure I have them going the same way. Again, this isn't really gonna be as important to me with this one because this stitching isn't gonna show, but I'll kind of do it the right way anyway. Then it'll also help be secure. Let's find my awl. And I wasn't thinking about the fabric here. Oh yeah, it goes through. Okay, that's pretty good. Two. And that sounds like the weather radio. So we've been having flooding and possible tornadoes. So let me go check that. You know, it'd be good to have lined this up. When we decide that's the center, roughly. Make a couple of holes. You know what? Let's just be a little more exacting. Because I want it to right here. So find my pen. Aha. Okay. Strike what I said about this being a tutorial. This is not a tutorial by any. It's a tutorial of what not to do. How's that? So we are going to, you know, about 1/3 of the way in there. Just gonna draw my holes. Again, make sure that's on top. I should make sure that's the front. It is indeed the front. And then the second signature row. Don't tell me I have all of that. Forgot how big the spine was. Okay. That's okay. We're going to chunk this up, right? So it's fine that we have all this extra space between signatures. Marking my spot so I can go through and not go through my cardboard, because that is defeat the purpose of it being a hidden spine, right? So just kind of pre-drilling my holes here, make it easier to thread, just like I did with my paper. All right, there we go. Take two. And and what I didn't ask myself was, is this the signature I wanted on front? Yes. Yes, this is the front. So many things to consider. You know, future Deanna may put music to this and fast forward in the editing. Okay, so we are going through the first signature line of holes in the center. We can get this lined up. Okay, making sure that it's taut but not bunching, because it could have the potential to do that. And go through here. And back through this center hole wedge. Again, making sure we avoid the thread we went through the first way. Okay, now before I tighten this, or tie this, I'm just going to make sure that it is snug. Without bunching. Okay, pretty good about that. And a string on both sides. Tie it. Now I have seen people not tie this in a knot, tie it in a bow in case they want to take the picture, the pages out, or, you know, rebind it later. I'm going to be fine with this. And I'm going to do it a third time because I don't know why. I just saw someone do that when I was first learning, and so it stuck with me. Okay. And I'm just going to cut these off. If you wanted to leave them and add dangles, you could. I'm not going to do that. Okay. If I really wanted to, I could add some tape on that eventually, but one is done. Now, again, make sure I got my orientation right. And number 2, make sure this is taut but not bunched. All right, look at that. Pretty pleased. All right. So same thing, make sure strings on either side, so you can just tie right over that. And 3, there we go. Might put some tape over that at some point, but there we go. Now this is what we call a hidden spine technique, because now what we're gonna do is glue this to the spine like so. Okay. Our center. And I think I was trying to decide if I want to use some hot glue for this. Got my glue gun heated up, I think, and I just want to glue right down the spine here. And then, not a smart idea to touch the hot glue. Okay, now I feel like I can. There's the center of this thing. There we go. Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Now let's go ahead and glue this on down. All right, that looks pretty good. Where are we at in here? All right. Now, I want to glue these down. Which one did I want to put here? This one. This one. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter which one I put where, right? I'm okay with this gonna be sticking out like that because it's just gonna fray more over. Just gonna fray more over time. I mean, obviously I can trim some of that off if I want, but right now I don't want. Oh, maybe a little. Maybe a little. All right. Pretty good. You know, the one thing I didn't do before I can still do it. Closures. Okay, this would be a good time to put the closures in here before I glue this down. So let's see, what is the closure gonna be? All right, I want to dig out some ribbons. And also, or I could, that might be what I did, but let's just see if I find something better. And I think, I mean, this is, okay, a contender. I got plenty. Okay, I do not seem to have any more of that, so although kind of, sort of, not really goes with my theme here. Maybe it does. Okay. I think it is close enough. We're gonna do it. Okay. Let's just cut it in half here. Right. And then, let's see. I mean, I'm not trying to be particular or picky or whatever, but I do want the strings to line up when I close them, right? And tie the book. So if it's, we decide it was 6 1/4, you know what, let's just put it right at the 3. Okay. And about I mean, these kind of don't look like they're the same spot, but I guess they are. Okay, now we got shiny and shiny. I guess it's the same shiny. Okay, so I want, does that look long enough to tie? I think so. I think so. Let's just add a little bit of glue. pretty good. Pretty happy about that. All right, let's take a look. So I had made my topper here off camera. One, because I just had no clue what I was doing. I didn't think it'd be helpful for you to watch me just root around in my scraps over there, because I had no plan, nothing whatsoever. I did have this tea bag sentiment with my kind of inspiration stuff over here, and I thought, you know what, that would be a perfect little message to put there. And then I had this was a title from some sheet music, and you know what, that made sense to me. And then I used a page from my other, so I do have this third signature filled with pages that I'm gonna likely use for collages, ephemera, whatever. So I decided to cut that up, and I feel pretty good about it. It has the colors here that I was, I don't know, inspired by here. My grandma's, a visit to grandma's, and little Deanna. So they're gonna stay here. I haven't decided if they're going in the book, and if they do, where, but let's just take a look. I feel pretty happy about this junk journal. My safe place. It's gonna be the place where I do my art therapy for my grief work. And you know, I like that I'm not starting with blank pages, you know, and kind of like my life. Far from blank, right? I got a lot of stuff to put down. I have no idea what that's even gonna look like. And right now, I guess it doesn't really matter, because I'll just do it one day at a time. Thanks for joining me, and yeah, I'll talk to you later.